Teaching to the test pattern.
Hey buddy, what is going on? Thank you so much for downloading this episode of Teaching to the Test Pattern. I'm Tom White, your host, and this episode is a very special one because I have a ton of great news to share with you and let you kind of know the state of the podcast and what's happened over the last couple of weeks. It's going to put it on a whole new level. First off, I want to welcome and thank our new sponsor, AmiTrace. Those guys were on with us about NDI. We did about 6 episodes with them a couple weeks ago, and they apparently like what they heard and saw. So they are now our new sponsor. They have a huge heart for educators. They really do a great job. And one of the things that separates them from their competitors is they only do video. They're not doing welding setups. They're not doing all of these other things. They're only doing video. B, they come in and train, and they train extremely well. I actually spoke with someone last weekend, and they just were singing the praises of those guys from AmiTrace and all the good things that they do to make everything great for educators and for their end users. And I can't help but to be extra thankful for them, and you're going to hear a lot about them over the next several months as the relationship grows and as we dig a little deeper into that partnership, and I cannot thank them enough for that sponsorship. Their sponsorship allows me to do some different things that I wouldn't be able to do without it. For example, I'm going to go out to NAB in April, and I'm going to speak to hopefully 40 or 50 different vendors over those couple of days, maybe more. I'm going to find some industry pros to talk to. I'm going to find some producers to talk to. I'm going to find a bunch of things and really hopefully build a lot of content for you guys so that when you go to your administrators or you go stand in front of your students, you feel armed with what you need to produce a great broadcast, be it sports, news, or otherwise. Also talk to the guys at Sports Video Group, and they always do a really awesome event here in Atlanta called the College Sports Summit, and I've gone to it for 4 or 5 years now. And I talked to Brandon Acosta the other day about it, and I asked him, "Hey, can I come and record some podcasts and talk to the college guys while they're out there, and talk to some of your vendors as well?" And he opened up the doors for me, and has allowed me to do that. So I'm super excited about that. Honestly, my attendance at that event put me on a whole different level in terms of what I thought I could do as a video production teacher in a high school. I spoke today with Andy Blanton from Georgia Tech, and you'll hear those episodes come out over the weekend. And I told him, I said, as a video teacher, we kind of have this imposter syndrome where I'm at a high school. The University of Alabama doesn't care about me. They're not going to try to help me, but I could have never been more wrong. Or, Harvard or any of those places. And I'm not just going to talk to the big schools. I like talking to the little schools too, because one of the things that I've learned in my time working with those guys is that, yes, at a high school level, if you get $1,500 a year, you're blessed. And at the collegiate level, there are some programs that are spending $15 million a year, but our problems are still the same in terms of training students and preparing our staffs and that kind of stuff. So I'm super excited about that. Like I said a moment ago, I talked to Andy Blanton from Georgia Tech, and we had a great conversation, and I can't wait to release that over the next several days. I went and talked to Robert Calloway out at Columbia High School just outside of Atlanta. Actually, I guess it's inside the perimeter, so it's in Atlanta. We had a great conversation about his transition from a career in radio and being a producer into the classroom and some of the obstacles he's had to overcome in making that transition. If I can ever get Corey Alberti into I'm gonna have a great conversation with him. If you don't know Corey, you talk about a guy that hustles. This guy is a hustler. We were scheduled to talk today. We were actually going to go to Columbia and record the interview and have Robert help us produce it with his kids. But Corey got a call from ESPN this morning needing him to fly to Chicago to film the celebrity basketball game as a part of All-Star Weekend for the NBA. So Corey's a rock star. He's a hustler. Actually, off the air this morning, Andy Blanton and I were talking about him. Didn't know we were talking about the same guy until he said his last name. So lots of stuff lined up, lots of interviews. I've got some real big guns coming in to be interviewed. I'm super excited about that. I got some what people call small fries too coming. But I think that they all have a great story to tell in terms of how they can put together a program from nothing and really get it going and off the ground. So really excited about what the next several months have in store for you. And I'm having a blast doing it, and I think it's going to be a really good thing. And again, this podcast episode is a shorty, and it's primarily to announce the partnership with Amitrace and to kind of give you guys a state of the state for teaching to the test pattern. We've been on the air about 6 weeks now, and I believe this would be episode 13, so lucky 13. And I've got a bunch in the bank, and I'm really excited to start pushing those out as I have time to edit them. I'm going to try to get Andy Blanton stuff out over the next several days, and then Robert Calloway, and then maybe catch up with Corey in the next week or so when I can pin him down for an hour or two and get his story and talk about how he's grown. Talk about the hustle, because that's what that dude does. He hustles. He's in Chicago tonight. I don't know where he's in Chicago tomorrow night. I don't know where he'll be Saturday, but he literally, anytime I talk to him, anytime I see him on Facebook, he's somewhere in the country working on the sidelines of a sporting event. So super excited about talking to him. Super excited to give you the conversation with Andy Blanton and Robert Calloway. Thank you again for all the support and the love that we've gotten the first 6 weeks. And again, thanks to Amitrace. And again, a short one. Have a great day. Go make some awesome love on somebody. It's Valentine's Day week. So love you, mean it. Go love on somebody and go make awesome.
Teaching to the test pattern.